Okay, good morning, everyone. Let me start by asking you a question. Who here in the audience is afraid of sharks? Don't be shy, just raise your hand so I can see. So here, very nice. There, okay, you raise your hand too. Okay, so now I can assume that everybody here is more or less afraid of sharks. Well, let me tell you something. There are no dangerous sharks out there, just dangerous situations. Like this one, for example. See, this picture, if you don't know, was nominated as Picture of the Year by National Geographic in 2001. I bet some of you have already seen it. It was circulated by email, and everybody wanted to believe it was true. But actually, it wasn't. This picture has been photoshopped, but it was a huge, huge hoax. And, you know, the buzz was so strong that National Geographic had to publicly deny they ever nominated that picture. But I bet some of you here wanted to believe this picture was true, right? You see, people are afraid of sharks, but they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be, because fear of sharks is not natural. Fear of sharks is acquired. We are conditioned to be afraid of sharks. And the cultural unconscious of Western psyche carries within itself such a strong projection of what sharks are. Sharks are monsters. And when it comes to monsters, well, your imagination becomes very fertile and will provoke very ambivalent and excessive reactions. We know that, consciously or not, we learn from the media. And, you know, media, they shape our view of things, they shape our opinions and our perceptions. In 2013, a study came out. And the purpose of the study was to analyze the social perception of sharks according to their portrayal in the news media. So what the researchers did is that they took 300 different articles on sharks published in 20 different newspapers. The key finding of this research was that shark attacks were cited 500% more than any other topic related to sharks, being biology, conservation, migration, you name it. So you see here how media stress the threat that sharks pose to humans, and they condition us to be afraid of them. I wanted to tell you something. Let me be your media now. Who here in the audience is planning to go to New York or has ever been there? Wow, so many. Okay, let me be your media now, and let me tell you that for every person bitten by a shark in the world, 25 get bitten by other persons in New York alone. You see? So there are no dangerous sharks, just dangerous New Yorkers, right? Just kidding, just kidding. Okay, so let me repeat it. There are no dangerous sharks, but there are dangerous situations. And those situations are always, I mean always, created by humans. You know, media, not only they cover shark attacks, but they also tell you what to do in case of an attack. And we also know that media, well, they need experts. So sometimes, well, they pick up underqualified persons that they bring to the status of experts. And in the summer of 2015, there were some shark incidents occurring along the shores of North Carolina. And in June 2015, a magazine decided to publish an article over this problem. So they apparently met with the shark expert and asked him, what should we do? Well, the expert said very clearly, and it's summarized in the title, should a shark attack you? Very simple. Just swim back to shore as fast as you can. All right, okay, I get it. 1 month later, another magazine decided to tackle the same problem. And there, the expert said something, another expert, of course, said something else. Okay, should a shark approach you? Very simple. Just splash the surface of the water. You will scare the shark and you will chase him off, right? Okay, so what I know now is that if a shark approaches me, I have to move as fast as I can, and I have to splash the surface of the water, right? Okay. Let's put this to the test, will you? In the video I'm going to show you now, I am with my colleague, Dr. Eric Ritter, in the Bahamas. And we are at the place we call Shark Beach, a place where we do a lot of shark research. And look at what happens. Here we are in the water, and crystal clear water, we splash the surface of the water, and then all of a sudden, not one, not two, but many, many, many bull sharks come to see what has generated this sound, okay? See, we don't back off. We just face them because we know they don't want to hurt us, and we are not going to hurt them, right? Have you ever heard of non-dangerous bull sharks? I bet you haven't, because media, they categorize, they categorize bull sharks in the top 3 man-eaters. Okay, how come I'm not afraid of sharks? I mean, I see the same things as you see, and I read the same things as you read. So how come I'm not afraid? Well, I got lucky. When I was 8, I moved to Italy, in a small fisherman village, just by the sea and not far from Venice. And there were sharks out there, but I didn't know that. So, I was a little Belgian coming to Italy from the north, so I was all the time by myself in the water. So I used to go by myself, swim, and sometimes far from shore. And one day, and I remember it was like yesterday, at a certain point I was swimming, and I saw something big, coming at me from my right. So I stopped, and this thing came from my right, circled me, and then went away. And I was fascinated. I said to myself, wow, what a beautiful fish, what a powerful and elegant animal. So I swam back to shore, and I told my story to the adults, and the adults said, they put up such a face, and told me, man, you're lucky to be alive, you just met a shark. Lucky to be alive, I mean, big question mark on my head, why? A few months later, a cousin of mine came from Belgium to spend some time for the summer holiday in Italy. He was older than me, and he told me, I just saw a movie about a shark. So, oh, you really? So tell me about it, And he told me about the movie, and I said, what? Can you repeat it? And he repeated 2 times, 3 times, 4, 5 times. And I was clueless. I couldn't understand. Because what he was telling me about the movie was completely at the opposite of my own experience. So I decided to buy the book. And I read the book. The book was Jaws. So I closed the book and I said, I don't get it. I don't get it. Fiction is so far from reality. And so that summer, I decided I would find out for myself. And I would become the famous shark expert like Richard Dreyfuss in the movie, with a big boat and all. All right. But you know how life is, and a few years later, I moved back to Belgium, went to school, and started working in offices until one day. One day, completely out of the blue, my childhood dream came back. And it was really strong, you know, like a punch in the heart. And it was so strong that it took me 5 to 6 months to decide to drop everything and start all over again. And that's what I did. I started studying again, and then I had the chance to meet with world-renowned shark scientists. And today I work with one, Dr. Eric Ritter, right? So what I do today, mainly, is that I travel the world. I travel the world and I bring people close to sharks. I teach them shark behavior and I teach them how to interact with these animals. When you know a shark and you know what's going on, then you can assess the situation and you can react accordingly. And so you will avoid any potential dangerous situation, right? And let me give you an example here. I will show you now a video. I am with my colleague, Dr. Eric Ritter, in the Bahamas, another place we call Tiger Beach. Tiger Beach, why Tiger Beach? Because you have the huge tiger sharks, you know, those nasty animals. All right, and look what happens. The shark comes up to Eric. Eric understands what's happening, and with just a small movement, makes that big animal go away. So you see, that's not a dangerous shark, but it could have been a dangerous situation should the person didn't know what to do. All right? So now that you've seen some proofs, and now that you've seen some evidence, is there something that you, here in the audience, you can do about it? Well, yes, there is. You can start talking to very powerful and influential people. Politicians? Nope. Children. You know, children. The adults of tomorrow. That's something that I love to do. I love to go to children and talk to them about sharks. Okay, sometimes I dress up like a fluffy shark. You know, unknown species, but very attractive. I mean, I'm talking about the costume, not myself, all right? But what I love to do is going to schools and talk with children. Why? Because children, they're not conditioned to be afraid of sharks yet. So they're very, very enthusiastic. And they ask a lot of questions, and they have a lot of common sense. And there's something else I like to do when the talk is over. I ask them if they're okay if it's okay for them to make some drawings, and they always do. And you know, they're artists. Look at this drawing: 2 divers with a hammerhead shark and other unknown toothy species. But there is one drawing that I would like to share with you that summarizes everything. Look at this one. Here you have a big black shark and a small diver. And the diver says, "Ooh, I'm scared." And the shark answers, Don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. Why is everybody thinking that?" And then the child wrote, "Don't kill the sharks." Okay, so is there something that you can do to help me here? Yes, you can. Go out and talk to children and tell them that there are no dangerous sharks out there, just dangerous situations. Thank you.